West Virginia.
I ask unanimous consent to suspend the quorum call.
Without objection.
Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent that I be allowed to address the Senate while seated when necessary.
Without objection.
Well, to this great Senate body and to all of you, I'll speak from my heart. I won't have hardly any notes, but I'll speak from my heart about something that I think is absolutely the key to Emerald City, and that's all about energy. Absolutely, I'm an energy guy. I'm from an energy state. In my backyard, 2/3 of the population of this entire country is within a rock's throw of West Virginia. If we don't watch out, we're going to awaken to a situation as far as energy in this country that is really, really, really bad. I believe this with all my soul, that Secretary Burgum is a really good man. And I always called him the pick of the litter. I think President Trump's nominees are absolutely great. But with all that being said, I think about Doug Burgum, our Secretary of the Interior, a guy that is super smart, really, really experienced, compassionate, and has an unbelievable knowledge. Now, with all that being said, if we could just go back to just this, we could think about Chris Wright. Chris Wright gets it. He knows what we need to do. And if you just step one step further, I would just say just this. President Donald Trump understands it. He knows exactly just this, and this is all there is to it. Energy is everything, Mr. President. It is everything right now. It solves the inflation bubble. It insulates us from the standpoint of wars all over the place. Why in the world do we in America need to blow our own legs off and turn China loose, India loose, whomever it may be? That's what we're doing. I'm an absolute believer, and you've seen it in West Virginia if you're paying attention. I'm an absolute believer to embrace all the energy forms. We did, 100%. But if you believe today that we can do without our fossil fuels, our great fossil fuels, and absolutely if you think we can do without them today, I say you're living in a cave. You're absolutely living in fantasy land. Absolutely. If you don't believe that today, a year and a half from today, that we're going to have a crisis in this country off the chart as far as electricity, you need to wake up, because that is what is coming. Now, let me even go one step further. And let me just say just this. Let's just say we awaken to an opportunity of AI, data centers, whatever it may be, industry, manufacturing, whatever it may be. Do we want to say, no, we can't do that? We can't do that. Because we're going to be in a situation with our grid and with our energy production in a year and a half from today. I promise you, a year and a half from today, we're going to be in a situation that we're going to have to decide, are we going to have opportunity and jobs and manufacturing and AI and data centers? Are we going to have that? Or are we going to choose with our electricity amounts that we have, we're either going to be able to support industry or we're going to have to support homes? For God's sakes a living, we don't want to go and get cold. We don't want to be hot in the summer. We don't need a choice between industry and our homes. What we need to be doing is exactly what I'm saying. We got to realize that energy is the key to everything here. That's all there is to it. You know, it does solve all the things that I've already said, whether it be inflation or you know, all the war situation or our national security and on and on and on. But there's something else that it does. and it just does just simply just this. We have a 37 trillion. None of us have any comprehension what $1 trillion really is. None of us has any can possibly imagine what $1 trillion is. We've got a $37 trillion deficit. How are we going to get out of it? Please tell me. Please tell me how we're going to get out of it. First of all, what we should do is mind the store. That's what we've got to do. Mind the store. That's the first thing you have to do. That means cut as much waste as we possibly can. But after we do all of that, I'll bet you this in every way. I see, I'm a business guy. I'm not a politician. You can tell by the way I talk. For crying out loud, I'm a business guy. With all that being said, I have never have I seen a situation to where you can cut your way out of a problem. We will absolutely have to mind the store. President Trump is dead on point. The Doge is absolutely real, and we can absolutely make a real dent, but it won't be a dent nearly big enough. At the end of the day, the only way you can truly get your way out of a mess, mind the store, and then grow. That's what we got to do. You've got to grow revenue. Say what you want, but at the end of the day, you've got to grow revenue. How are you going to grow revenue in America? Well, for God's sakes, a living, the last thing on the planet that anybody would ever want to do is raise taxes. That'd be the worst thing we could possibly do. That would kill us in every way imaginable. We need to be supportive of President Trump's tax cuts. We absolutely need to grow revenue one way. This is the only way to do it in West Virginia. You won't hear me all the time just standing up on a soapbox going on and on. But really, this is a West Virginia guy that is telling America and telling the world just this. We sit on so much energy, it's off the chart. Why can't we be Saudi Arabia? I mean, for crying out loud, it absolutely is the answer, period. If you want to grow revenue in this country, absolutely it will start with energy and it will end with energy. That's all there is to it. Think about this just for 1 second. Every single country in the world, the gigantic countries or the real small countries, every country in the world today, the people will live longer and the people will be healthier if they have more energy. Guarantee it. Every single country in the world, the more energy they have, the longer their people live, and the healthier they are. Absolutely, just go back and think just one more thing. Civilization only progressed with abundant, cheap energy. And now it's abundant, cheap, clean energy. America produces the cleanest energy on the planet. Our coals are so clean, it's unbelievable compared to China's coals or other countries. Absolutely, our natural gas is so good, it is off the chart. Embrace all the alternatives. All the wind, all the solar, embrace them all. But for God's sakes of living, you cannot forget the very thing that God above gave us in our fossil fuels. So with all that being said, I didn't even look at the notes, but I would just say to you just this. We have a real opportunity in America today, a real opportunity to move forward in a way that absolutely can solve a lot of the riddle. The riddle's tough. The riddle's tough, and absolutely when you step back from it and you think about, well, what are we going to do? Here's a guy that's come to you not as a politician. I came to you not as a 40-year-old, aspiring to someday being the chairman of some committee. I came to you with white hair as a 73-year-old because of one reason and one reason alone. I'm eat up with being a patriot. I'm the real deal. I challenge the media all the time, tell me something that knowingly I've told you is not true. They can't do it. because I'm going to tell the truth. My parents taught me that. It's not okay to just tell anything and say, oh, that's just politics in my world. It's not. I am telling you from my heart, as a business guy and absolutely as a West Virginian, but first and foremost as an American. I love you with everything in me. I love this country with every single thing in me. I want nothing but goodness. I don't want one thing for me. Nothing. I don't want the next hot tip. I don't need the next perk. I don't need the next invite. I don't want a thing for me. I am telling you, energy is our ticket. It's everything. It always has been everything. Now, we got to do something about it. America, you got to listen to me on this one. We got to do something about it, and we got to do something about it right now. I mean, there's a bad day coming, and it's coming right at us like a freight train. Let's do something about it, America. God bless each and every one of you. Thank you so much for having me. And Mr. President, I guess now if I follow these guidelines correctly and make sure that I do, I yield the floor.